I'm going to take you for an awesome ride as well on the second half, right the way through to the ocean. So just to summarize part one, the accumulate signal of the COT is huge and it's never let you down. You had to wait a bit the last one because you just had a macro half-time crash, but it took you from 29 to 52. That was the least immediate one. All the others in quite short succession. Bitcoin was significantly higher, all the others, and similarly for the bears were right on the tops. Remember, this is data that comes out once a week, so it's best viewed on the big time frames, weekly, 7-day, as I've mentioned, because of the trading view bug, which is weekly, but seems to show the signals on some occasions where the weekly doesn't. So those are the big ones. One or two folk are saying they're getting called for tax on their crypto gains. So they've declared that they have a chip crypto account and they're being called for tax on their crypto gains. I want to deal with this as a separate point. And they have to provide records and they don't have them. That's exactly where the receiver of revenue wants you. He wants you floundering, having to provide records where the onus is on you, and he only stands to gain. And I want to discuss the second half of the vid, a very valuable and key lesson. I call it the two halves of a fish tank with a divider, monetary policy world. Two halves of a fish tank with a glass divider down the middle. And you have two economic models. An aging, dying one, which pays very, very low interest on a very clearly depreciating currency. Because I'm going to deal with this tax situation now as part of answering this. You need to understand that there is no real effective true pricing for risk anymore, because the interest rates have been crushed. They've been crushed to sustain the debt market so that the debt market values stay perceived high in value. Because there's an inverse relationship between debt and interest rates. So your central banking cartel of criminals that are here to enslave you through a money system that they control have created so much debt, and they have to maintain the value of that debt so that they can continue to create more of it and have buyers for the more of it, even though the Fed and the central banks themselves are having to become more and more the buyer of last resort, so that they can continue to maintain an artificially low interest rate. Let me say that again, because if you get this, you get the financial shell game that we're in. You need to understand the old to understand the new, and this will come back to crypto, because some of you are going, damn man, I came here for crypto and I'm getting economic lessons. Well, that's how you get to the bottom of fully understanding what's going on, and it's through full understanding and rational thought and intellectual awareness that you can have the confidence to take the steps you know you should take once you fully understand, and it's a lot clearer. And I'm here to help you with that, and that's exactly what I intend to do. So there is no effective monetary policy because there's too much debt, and if the rates were allowed to be as high as they should be, you are in a negative real interest rate environment at the moment, because inflation is significantly higher, and I'll talk about how much significantly in a minute, than what is being paid on a 10-year treasury, even the money markets, or a 20-year treasury. So if you're in and around the 1.5 being paid on a treasury, but John Williams of Shadow Stats says you're 10 going on 12%, the most sought after places for buying property have gone up 50%. Average, many of the most key working areas have gone up 25%. Assets and the purchase of assets that you need to live have all escalated in value. Costs of energy is going through the roof. Natural gas, oil, uranium. Oh my God. So much for the green revolution. It's not replaced the old not so green revolution, and in fact uranium is very green. The nuclear power plants. But anyway, leaving all that aside, energies is the first place. You're going to get shortfalls. I've always said South Africa is a microcosm of what's going to happen in the rest of the world, because it's got the Black Lives Matter perfectly seeded, the history of apartheid, it's got the Eskom malmanagement, which is their primary state electricity provider, that is allowing certain people to steal and trying to get other people to pay. You had blackouts, and this is going to start coming for countries you would never expect it for. The UK is probably going to be one of the first on the list. You've got drivers chasing after petrol in their cars, chasing after petrol refuel trucks, and fighting over who gets to get a full tank. You're going into a winter in the UK with natural gas at all-time highs, oil going up. I'm long oil, by the way, and you're wondering, okay, so I'm a crypto guy, why do I need to hear all this? Well, because the real world is collapsing under the fiat proliferation model. They're going to tell you that your coffee has gone up because Brazil has fires due to climate change. That's Bloomberg's pitch. The cost of your coffee is up because of supply shortages out of Brazil because of fires. They'll blame it on the weather. You know that English excuse of how to start a conversation? It's all, let's talk about the weather. Bloomberg is applying the rule of Englander and mentioning the weather as the reason. The weather's not the reason. Plants don't have a problem to grow. There's fires every year. As I've mentioned before on Reset channels, the Rockefeller oil industries were poisoning the Latin Delta, poisoning the river, poisoning tribes to extract oil, cutting down trees long ago. We haven't just suddenly met a tipping point. This is a trend that's been going for a while. It's not supply shortages, although they get involved and they are breaking up the supply chain as well and creating bottlenecks. But what's also happening is that the fiat has been proliferated to keep people working for wages. Wages have had to go up. To keep farmers planting seed, seed has gone up. To keep all of these things moving in a depreciating Brazilian real, depreciating dollar environment, the dollar price has to go up without any requirement for droughts, fires, or anything. Every year, somewhere in the world, there's a drought or a fire, and somewhere else there's a flood. It's called weather. What's the real story is that all these things that they will funnel into their classic excuse that serves their Bolshevik watermelon communism agenda, aka greenery, is largely a lie. They printed so much fiat, everything you use needs to go up. 25% new dollars in a single year means 25% higher prices for everything just to stand still. without any supply chain shortages, without any funky monkey shit. So you have a depreciating, going back to the fish tank, that's divided in half. Water always finds its level. On the one half, you have very little water in the tank. It's depreciating, it's continuing to reduce in value, and it pays no interest. On the other hand, oh, I love this bike. It's such an awesome bike. Gears just work. The power comes on when you need it. It's fucking awesome, this. Anyway, on the other hand, you've got a crypto realm where staking, you can earn 6, 8, 20, 30, 39% in some cases. And the underlying token is going to do more appreciating than depreciating. So you have this world like toxic bank, where all the shit has been stuffed, and good bank, where all the performing loans, the properly underwritten commercial debt, all that stuff has been done, and all the bad business has been put in toxic bank. So you have a two-fund world, and I've lived through this. I have the economic experience of it. Very few of you will know that South Africa during the apartheid years had a financial rand and a commercial rand that traded at different prices. They punished the local citizens who had to change their rands, were all commercial rands, at a much lower valuation to dollar. There was a financial rand for international investors, usually Oppenheimers, Rothschilds, banking cartel, deep with their snouts in the platinum and gold mining of South Africa, getting their money out at beneficial rates, courtesy of the central bank. One price for thee, a different price for me. And you're in this monetary environment where essentially the people that stay on the old financial system are stuck in depreciating currencies with shit rental yield, interest, while staking DeFi in the crypto realm, the currency appreciates and the yield is where the monetary interest rates of the current financial system should be. So you have a two-tier system. And guess where the insider's money is? Where it pays to be. They're already nose deep in crypto. They created it. It's a perfect two-tier system for raping and robbing you, who sit in fiat proliferated, and more proliferation to come. More goddamn proliferation to come. And I'm going to finish up literally in a minute to say you need to protect your wealth. You have to be overweight crypto. And I've just given you the call. Now is the time to be long. You have to stake and hold, or use very moderate leverage and make sure you don't get shaken out. We have a methodology for doing that. You also, going back to the tax point, which I need to address, which I still haven't addressed, is that at some point in that fish tank, someone pulls the divider away. And you lose the huge appreciation of cryptos and the great staking returns. It gets diluted. And those eventual idiots will arrive late that are still in the fiat system, earning 0.1% on their fast devaluing dollars, rands, Brazilian real, Turkish lira, euros. We're very short the euro. Watch our market sniper for that. They eventually wash together in the crypto realm, and the appreciation in crypto will start to taper off. It'll flatten out, it'll become naturally more stable, and the rates won't be as generous as they were. You are early. Or someone just starting, I'm here to tell you, you're still early. Because the trillions that are still stuck in the huge half of the fish tank is much larger. It's not a half, it's still 95% of the fish tank, and it's got this much water in it. And you're in that 5% where it's topped up to the full. Cup runneth over. Capital appreciation and true staking power. There is a two-tier global world system on monetary policy. Let me say that again. Monetary policy, the price of money, the rate that savers get paid for not spending, postponed gratification, the marshmallow test for children that determined who would be successful. Those that ate the marshmallow straight away didn't get another one. Those that held off got a second one the next day, etc., etc., for as long as they had the discipline to hold out. Any true financial system rewards investors over consumers. There is no reward for postponed consumption in the real financial world. Real, inverted commas, real. Your currency continues to devalue and you get paid fuck all. And every day you wait, you're a day closer to the next proliferation. So you need to understand that. And in another small microcosm world, you have real return paid on a fast appreciating as more and more people in the 99% of the tank are realizing there's a 0.1 somewhere else, where actually the risk wall of worry, refer to what I said in the first half regarding going up on the wall and worry. It's absolutely normal. If there's no one saying this whole thing could disappear, you're not doing the right thing. It's close to the top. It's absolutely the right thing when there's tons of FUD. It's designed to keep you as a fucking idiot in the wrong part of the tank, in the negative, real interest rate environment, losing your money and in fiat. They need as many people to stay as laggards so that they can feast early and eat all the best food and leave scraps and half-eaten shit on the table for you by the time you arrive. That's the game. There is no real postponed consumption reward for saving. There is no real true interest rates. You are in a debt-based Ponzi scheme. Most people don't fully realize it, but sense something's wrong. There is a new seeded realm that you have to be in. The COT indicator said crypto's going up, you need to be macro long. And returning to the tax question, you shouldn't be paying it. Short answer, you shouldn't be paying it. It's because you failed to leave the country you were born in. They own you and got you by the balls. Your trading account is not in an offshore corporation if you're in America or Europe. And as a result, your tax inquiring people are asking you questions and going to get some form of reward out of you. And the reason you should not be paying is because they're fucking screwing you from the 99% shell game that they've been keeping you in. Paying you in fiat, that is devaluing, giving you fuck all interest on your bank account and keeping you down there. That is the fraud they are perpetrating on you. And for protecting your money and moving into the one area where there is hyper capital appreciation, hyper saving reward, the point of doing that to protect yourself is bringing them to extract against you. They want to disincentivize you and punish you for being thinker. And I'm here to tell you they have morally no principled right to do it. I don't care what they wrote up in laws. There's legal system of laws that can protect. And we say it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And what you keep isn't all the losing, not selling out at the top story. It's about tax extractors coming for you. You must have a structure, and you need the structure before you make the money. Don't do it all in your own name as an American stuck in America declaring it all and not expect a tax bill. I'm telling you the bull market's coming. I'm telling you, you should already be talking to us around the structure, and you don't have to go to overpriced people that have catchphrases like "go where you're treated best." That was where we started when we were thinking about this 5-6 years ago. You can learn from our experience, do it with amazing partners for significantly less. But it takes time, it takes patience, there's forms to fill in, but you will have protection. You will have 100% protection on capital gains as the current lie of the land of the laws are. And even if it ended in 3 years' time, it will probably make the world of difference to you. I remind you, doubling a dollar 20 years in a row takes you to over $1 million. Paying 30% tax at the end of every year takes you to $22,000. You tell me how you want to play this. You can email us on support@themarketsniper, and I'm going to take you for a ride onto the beach now after making some hectic points. You should not be extracted in crypto. That is a failure of planning. You are a fool if you allow it to happen. You have to take steps now for the growth you will be making. And in many instances, it also serves you, but isn't a natural requirement, to leave the country of your birth and citizenship. I hope you got all that. Welcome to my private beach. You too can have a private beach.